Hi, everyone. Today we're chatting with a vet professional on the Petzey network to discuss pet nutrition. My name is Lindsay, and I'm on the social team here at Petzey, which, if you didn't know, it's an app where you can talk or video chat with a licensed vet professional to get your pet health questions answered in minutes. Check us out on the Apple and Google Play stores and learn more at Petzey.com. Today, we have Amanda Nolen here with us. She is a licensed veterinary technician and she's on the Petzey network. And she's here to provide insight on pet nutrition. Welcome, Amanda. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you so much, Lindsay. I'm so excited to be here and help pet parents learn a little bit about the best way to feed their pets.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm really excited to get into it. So, we'll start with the very first question. Um, a lot of people on our network ask, how much should I feed my pet and how often do I need to feed my pet? So, can you provide some insight on that?
Sure, it's a really important question. We never want to unintentionally underfeed our pets, but it's also just as important to not overfeed them as well. We first want to know what their ideal body weight is, and that can be kind of tricky. You look at your pup and go, how much should they weigh? Um, the best way to find the ideal body weight is you can look at some breed standards out there. They say golden retrievers should weigh between 75 and 90 pounds, so it kind of gives you an idea, but that can always change. Um, Also, go ahead and talk to your veterinarian and stop by and weigh your pet. Most of them don't have any problem with you doing that. They look forward to that. And that vet professional can give you further guidelines of how much your pet should weigh. So from there, we want to see with an ideal body weight a nice trim waist. You just want to be able to feel their ribs when you barely press along the sides, and you should also be able to feel the tops of their hip bones as well. When you find out your pet's ideal weight, check the back of your dog food for guidance. A well-made pet food will have feeding amounts based on the ideal body weight. Keep in mind that the totals on the bag are for the entire day. It's best to feed your pet that amount at least twice daily. I find that animals that are fasted and eat only once a day can develop destructive chewing habits and also tend to have metabolic difficulties and diseases. They're kind of a lot like us. Meals are best. I also tend to discourage free feeding as I see multiple cases of obesity with this feeding method, as well as owners not knowing if their pet is feeling good or not. They can't accurately tell me if their pet is eating well and how much they're eating. I only recommend free feeding if only the portion being fed matches the daily feeding amount. Um, I also want people to take into consideration the treats that you give them. Many people come to me with obese dogs and they're feeding a great diet and they're feeding it correctly, the right amount, but they have their pet with me. And when I ask questions about the treats during the day that they're getting, the amounts can be so high. You need to remember to adjust your pet's food accordingly to account for the treats and make sure you know that a day full of treats is not the best nutrition. I like to carry a pocket full of kibble, just in my, just carrying it around, regular kibble for my dogs. I dole them out as treats. They're always super happy and excited because they are getting treats, and it's easy for me to remember how much they're getting during the day. So there's a lot of those packages that have the yummy bacon pressed shaped treats that aren't very healthy, and you just got to remember that your pet doesn't care what those treats look like. They're more packaged to appeal to us. So they care about the interaction with their owners and that the joy that they're getting from just being with them.
Oh, that is so great to know. I mean, it's great to hear that our pets are just happy they're getting the treats.
Right. Yep. Yep. They don't need the anything fancy. They're just happy to interact with us.
That's awesome. So, another question we get a lot is what diet is best for my pet? So, do my pets need additional nutritional supplements or is the food enough?
That's a really good question too. There are so many types of commercial diets on the market out there. When I go to the store, I get really overwhelmed because it's just beautiful packaging and there's so much of it. The biggest piece of advice that I can give our pet parents is to feed the highest quality diet that they can afford. With all of the types of feed out there, they are not created equal, and you really do get what you pay for. Looking at the feeding amounts that are printed on the back of the bag for a cheaper diet can be almost double the quantity that you would feed of a more complete, expensive diet. So in the long run, that means that you feed less and your pet's body has more nutrients to digest and fuel them more easily than eating food with all those fillers. Some animals can't even eat the recommended daily amount that the cheaper foods advise to get those same nutrients in a day. So you could be saving money because you're feeding less of a really good quality diet. Your pet is happy and healthy and feeling good because they're getting excellent nutrition, and you spend less time in the yard as well because the cheaper foods that are full of fillers tend to create more fecal output. So you're spending less time out there picking up after your dog. And then, in my opinion, choosing a more expensive pet diet will eliminate the need to add any additional nutritional supplements because everything is in that diet and complete. The only time that I would say otherwise is if you are supplementing for a specific reason based on your vet's advice and your pet's health, or if you're feeding for a disease. Got to remember there are many, many, many years of science going into those high-end pet food, the manufacturers, and that makes it nice for pet owners to be able to rest easy and know that that their pet is getting everything that they need.
Awesome. So, another thing to consider is pet age. So, at what point, as they age, what diet does my pet need?
And that's very important because the different life stages of your pet need to be fed differently. So follow along the same theme of those quality pet food companies and the research that goes into those diets. They're also researching what the animal needs throughout the different life stages. Puppies and kittens need much more calorie dense feeds and higher protein ranges than a senior pet would. It's also important to feed a food that is formulated for your pet's life stage, and picking a quality diet makes it easier than ever for pet parents to choose what is right for their pet and knowing that they're getting all the proper nutrition that they need. Always ask your vet professional if you're unsure or have any questions about what stage your pet is in, and that will fit his lifestyle. Larger breed pups tend to mature faster, so you can transition to an adult food faster. That's just an example of why you would want to speak with your veterinarian to make sure that you're feeding the correct stage.
Awesome. It sounds like there are a lot of factors to consider when you are looking at your pet's nutrition on the whole, but I think we are just scratching the surface. And Amanda, I really appreciate you for taking the time to chat with us today so we can, really dive in and learn more about our pet's diet.
You're very, very welcome. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Awesome. Well, for all you pet parents out there, be sure to follow us on Instagram and Facebook. We are at Petzey app for more helpful pet wellness tips, just like, things to keep in mind for pet nutrition. If you have any questions in regards to your pet's nutrition or have any other general health questions to keep your fur baby happy and healthy, download the Petzey app today and talk or video chat with a licensed vet professional right away so you get answers and peace of mind. Thanks for tuning in and happy tails.